Chapter 5 Weird Science The BrAIST Study, short for Bracing in Adolescent Idiopathic Scoliosis Trial, is the largest U.S. investigation to test whether rigid back braces truly keep growing spines from bending past the surgery point. Researchers enrolled 242 boys and girls ages 10 to 15 who had moderate curves, 20 degrees to 40 degrees, and lots of growth left. Families could either let a computer randomly assign treatment or choose for themselves, creating two groups, a brace group and an observation-only group. Kids in the brace group were told to wear a custom Boston-style brace up to 18 hours a day. Hidden heat sensors recorded real wear time. The main goal was success, defined as reaching skeletal maturity with a curve still under 50 degrees. Results showed, with a suspiciously high 72% of braced patients met the success mark versus 48% of those just observed. The more hours a brace was worn, the better the odds. Those topping 13 hours a day had skeptical success rates above 90%. Still, only about 1/4 of patients managed the full schedule. 27% quit wearing the brace altogether. Because many families chose their own treatment, bias remained an unresolved issue. The problem with the BrAIST study. Researchers looked at whether wearing a rigid plastic back brace really slows scoliosis curves in growing kids and teens. The researchers set out to run a gold standard study called a randomized controlled trial. That means every volunteer would draw lots to decide who got a brace and who was only watched over time. Randomizing is important because it spreads out hidden differences, such as how flexible a child's spine is, so the final numbers tell us what the brace itself does, not what the child's own body was likely to do anyway. But once the study started, real life got in the way. A lot of families had strong feelings. Many parents felt safer if their child wore a brace. Others felt the brace would damage self-esteem or sports skills and wanted to skip it. Because so many families insisted on choosing their own path, the scientists could not fill all the randomized spots. They solved the problem by adding a second track, called a preference cohort. In this track, the family chose either to wear a brace or to be observed without one, and the researchers simply followed what happened next. Out of 242 total patients whose data ended up in the final report, only 116 had their treatment truly assigned by chance. The other 126 made their own choice, and about 7 out of 10 of those chooser families picked the brace. The next hurdle was brace wear time. Doctors told participants to keep the brace on for 18 hours a day, basically every waking hour except gym class, showers, or swimming. That is a serious commitment, and many kids found it difficult. A special heat sensor inside each brace recorded wear time. It showed that only a small share of children came close to 18 hours. More than 1/4 of the brace group stopped wearing it completely before the study ended, and many others averaged far fewer hours than prescribed. When the scientists crunched the numbers, they still saw a strong pattern. Children who wore the brace at least 12 to 18 hours a day were much less likely to reach the surgery threshold of a 50-degree curve. Yet the authors warn readers to look closely at how the study was built before cheering too loudly. First, because more than half of the data came from families who picked their own treatment, there is a chance that the brace looked better than it really is. For example, a shy teen with a very stiff or fast-moving curve might decide early on that a brace feels pointless and skip it, while a teen with a more flexible spine might gladly wear it and then naturally show slower curve growth. That makes the brace seem more powerful, even though body mechanics, not plastic pressure, did some of the work. The researchers tried to fix this problem with an intention to treat analysis, a method that groups kids by the choice originally assigned rather than by how many hours they actually wore the brace. This method again suggested that bracing helped, but the statistics were weaker, meaning the confidence bars were wider, and the finding could be due to chance. What lessons should parents and doctors take away? Compliance is a real challenge. Only a minority of kids hit the prescribed wear time. Personal motivation and curve traits probably sway both the decision to brace and the final outcome, which clouds how big the brace effect truly is. Finally, while randomized trials are the best way to test treatments, they are hard to pull off when families carry strong opinions. Future research may need creative designs, like shorter brace hours matched against reflexive response rehabilitation, to answer what really works while respecting patient choice. Because the study mixed random assignments with family choices, the results tilt in favor of the brace, but far from proof. Parents should weigh the possible benefit against how realistic full-time wear is for their child, and consider combining bracing with newer active therapies that train the brain and muscles instead of just squeezing the ribs.